Hello everyone, my name is Kehinde Momodu. I'm a design tutor at Reskill Americans, and today we are going to be talking about how to start a design project from start. This is a video that is going to tell you how to start your design project, from the very beginning, the steps you need to take and what you need to do to get it right. So I'm going to share my screen now so we can get right to it. So the first thing you want to do when you want to start any project at all is that you want to go online to make a little research about what the project is about. You need to make sure that you are, you need to make sure that you have more insights, more knowledge about what you're actually trying to design. So the first thing I'm going to do here is come to Google and then search for this is going to the project I am going to be designing is based on the library assignments that was given. So we're going to start from Google. Basically, you can just come online and then research like library website or web page. So that way we can have examples of library websites. So this is the first option I have here. Can have examples of library websites, and from there we can get some detailed information about what library websites really are and what they should look like. So I have the first option here, which is a Greenwich Library. So I have that open right here. Yeah, this is it right here. So when you go through all the pages, you can see the layout, you can see, the things that they all have in common. You can also check for resources that content that you could add to your own page, and how you want your page to actually look like. So you can just go through the website, go through everything, get as much information as you want. I also have another one here. This is another website for a library. This is the this is the Innsdale Public Library. And also, like I said, you can go through it, check the layout, you can check for content, what you want to include in your library design and what you want to remove from your library design. Just basically going over everything just to get as much information as you want. So by the time you get all this information, it opens your mind to what you should do and how you should go about it. So that's why research is one of the first things you want to do when you want to start designing. This is another website I have here. This is the Carnegie Library. So you can just it's the same thing. You'll just have to go through the layout, get the content they have there. What do you want to include in your own website? Just have like a rough idea of what library websites are, what they include on their pages, and what you should have on yours. So this is just for your library website, but any other thing you want to design or you are working on as a designer, you need to make research first. That is the first thing. It's even to the extent that you could spend more time on research than actually designing itself, because the design should take a lot of time. You should make sure you're getting as much information as you can. So there is no problem with making research for even longer than you design. Most of the time, that might actually happen to you as a designer. So that's the first thing you want to do, make enough research. You could also go to websites where you can draw inspiration like Dribble, Behance, Mobin. Then you can also go to screenlane.io. There are all these websites there where you can get inspirations for what apart from going online to check other websites, these are also sites you could also visit to check what you also would have on your page. So I have another Dribble page right here that I have opened here. This is Dribble page. So all I did basically, I just searched right here, library website. It's just to get you in tune with what you want to do and how you could go about and the various ways that it could come out. So you now get to decide which route you are taking with it. So you can go through all the search options and see which ones you relate with and which one you think is going to be the best idea. So yeah, there are lots and lots. That's something about Dribble. Can never get enough of the library websites inspirations you could also use. So apart from coming here and checking for inspiration from all these web pages, But also come to websites like Dribbble, Behance, Screenlane, Mobin, all the sites you could also get very, very good inspiration from. And then when you are now done checking out everything you want to do, then you can now go to Figma. You know your outline, you know your contents, and you cannot get to Figma and now start designing. But the first thing you need to do is to make research. That is what we are going to do first. So click on this page right now. This is a website design for a page. So I could copy this and then, try to replicate something like this. I don't necessarily have to do it exactly as it is like this, but we could just, copy this and then make, something that is close to this. So I have my Figma open right here, and this is the design already. So this is the design we have here. So from here, when you already have your inspiration, you have your layout, you know what you want to include on your page, and I'll come to Figma and start designing. So the first thing I want to do when you're on Figma to get the design started is to get your frame. So I'm right here, I'm going to click on frame here, frame. And then I like to use desktop frame for my web designs. So this is the desktop frame that we're going to be using for this particular design. So the first thing you want to do when you are on your desktop frame is to make sure you are adding your grids, your margins to your page, because they give it a sense of organization. First thing you want to do is make sure you have margins on your page, your grids, everything must be intact, because if you don't have them, your page might have this unprofessional look. And also, when you have margins on your pages, it keeps your page tidy. So that's the first thing you want to do. So to do that, you just have to come to the right panel here, and then you click on, this is what we have here, layout grid. So you come here, this is where my mouse is, layout grid, click on the plus icon here, and then the option comes here, grid. You can see that the desktop is changing already, but you can, go further, you can click on this. By the time we click on this option, this page pops up. So from here, we want to change our columns. So I can just click on columns here. So for the first option we have here is count. That basically means this outlines we have here. How many of them do you want on the page? So for web, most of the time I go for 12 web. Yeah, go for 12 here. So you can see the page, the lines are now many. So that's because I changed it to 12. And also the most important thing we came here for is the margins. So for web, there are lots of options. A lot of people, a lot of designers have lots of different options they use. But personally, I like to use 120, so I can have enough space on the right and on the left. And as you can see, immediately I change it to 120. I have this huge space here on the left and this huge space here on the right. So basically what that means is that all the elements I want to design on this page are not going to exceed that margin, So your texts, your buttons, everything must be contained in the margin. You don't want them going outside that. So yeah, for that, my margin is already in place. The gutter, we can leave that as 20 as it is, and that's all for your grid. So like that, my page is ready. You can see here, I have the count and I have the margins right here. So the margins, like I said, I have 120. There are lots of people that use different options. Some people use 80, some designers use 100. It's just based on, personal preference. We just have the margins there. It's really important. So for the margins, I'm using 120. And what I'm going to do is make sure that, first of all, elements don't exceed it. And if I'm left aligning my elements, I want to make sure that they are very aligned. They are aligned to the margins. So yeah, if you want to get, let's design something that looks like this, not exactly like this, but something that looks like this. If you want to start our designs, first thing you want to do is have your header at the top here. So that's the first thing we are going to do for this particular design. So this is kind of design we're replicating. So for your header, you want to make sure you have things like the logo. You want to make sure you have the links, and you also want to make sure you have maybe some other tertiary buttons up there. So that's the first thing you're going to do for your header. So if I want to get header options here, you can see, like I said here, we have the logo. This is the logo right here. And we have the links, the shop, authors, categories, and contacts. Then also we could have, secondary or primary buttons right here beside it. So that's basically what you always have on your header. So if I want to have this header too, we'll try something like this. So let's try something like, let's design a header too. So for the first thing, for my header, I could want to have a text, have my text here, and then you have to change your font. If you have any preference for any particular fonts, you could have them here. A lot of people have different font options. Personally, I like to use Manrope, but if you have any other text fonts you like to use, there's no problem. So for the logo, I can use maybe 18 font size for that. Let's see how that would look. So 18, and I would like it to be medium. So yeah. So for the text here, I could have for the logo, let's say we could have for the logo, you could have let's have new library as our logo. So you could have a logo designed. That's fine too, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have a text here that would depict the logo. So yeah, so this is going to be our logo for this particular design. Just to use that. So again, like I said, want to make sure that we're aligning things to the margins. So immediately I drop this text here now. I want to make sure that it's aligned to the margins. So as you can see, immediately I drop it close to that 120 line there. This red line pops up. That's to let me know that it's aligned to it. If I drop the text now, and then I check the distance from the edge here using my Alt on my Windows, you can see that I have 120 here. So that's to let you know that the spacing from that text to the edge is 120. So all I did was click on the text, and I clicked on Alt on my keyboard, and then this is coming out. So this will let you know that the space you have there is 120, which is what you want. You want to make sure it's not exceeding the margins you have set. So that's the first thing you want to have. Then for the next thing, you want to, let's add our links. So for the links, you could have, what we have here is shop, authors, categories, and contact. So we could have the same. So I could use this text again, borrow this text. So for this, we have shop, then contact, and then catalog. Sorry. So for copying this text like this, you could also click on the text like this, hold down your Alt and drag it. So that way you can copy, or you could just press Control D and then text, gets duplicated. So anyone is fine, but I like to click Alt and drag just so that, it gives me a sense of direction. I can direct it to wherever I want. But that's why I use Alt and drag. But you could also just use Control D and then text is duplicated. So yeah. So for that, let's continue. Where did we stop? Yeah, for this, we want to have this as catalog. Sorry, there's a mistake with this text. So yeah, for this text now, we have this as catalog. I think there was one more. Let me come back here. There was one more. Sorry, it's categories and authors. Sorry. So let's change this to categories, not catalog. Categories. And then the last thing we want to have is authors. So for here, we want to have authors. Yeah, so the links for the text are ready. So you just need to, have them. But I was thinking, let me try using 16 for this for the font size here. Let's see how it will look. So I highlight everything here and I come and change it to 16. 16 right here. Yeah, this works. But you could still leave it as a medium since it's just links, so we can have them here.